Yes. Dakota's stuff. It's Dakota's room. Yeah. Okay. Oh, look at you. Oh my gosh. You have about 30 more seconds. Come on in, people. Yeah, okay, yeah, I can do that. Hang on just a second, let me tell Paul. I'm not going anywhere. You're in the right row. That makes me very happy. Welcome back. We are live on our video feed and ready to go, so welcome back. Come on in. So I'm Kelly Bradbury, president of this church, and 2.5 years ago, on July 28th, 2023, St. Peter's faced a moment none of us saw coming, a lightning strike and fire that abruptly changed so many things, including where we gathered and who we served. What followed were months of disruption and difficult decisions, all made with purpose, to care for each other, to protect our future as a church, to become more accessible and sustainable, and to discover just how flexible this congregation could be. During that time, leaders spent countless hours navigating challenges, often behind the scenes, while others worked to ensure worship continued, ministries remained active, and our mission stayed alive even without a building. We learned how to be a welcoming community in borrowed and rented spaces, how to continue sharing God's love with the world through our ministry teams. We found out what truly makes us church, not walls, but people finding the Spirit and life together. We gave generously of our time and resources. We prayed, we asked hard questions, and made agonizing choices. We stayed connected. Today, we are not just reflecting on our journey, we are giving thanks for resilience, for each other, and for the faith that carried us through. We especially want to recognize our remodel team who met weekly and led us with commitment and grace, so we are going to talk a little bit about each of them in more detail a bit later. And Lori prepared a video for us to watch about our journey. She's going to introduce it, but before she introduces it, I'd like to pray. God, as we remember the path we have traveled over the past couple of years, we give you thanks, especially and most importantly for one another, for this renewed space, and for the future you are calling us to build together. May your Spirit continue to guide us as we move forward. Amen.
Thanks, Kelly. So just a quick note, we will post this video to YouTube. There will be parts of it that you will see now that you're like, ooh, I couldn't quite read that, or I want to see that later. just go back. All of the music is from our congregation during pandemic times. Maybe one of the gifts of pandemic was our recorded music. And the photos, I think there were over 4,000. So forgive me for whatever comes. And know that a lot of them are selfies, because that's who was there. So enjoy, and you'll see where we came from. Enjoy.
Hi, Lori. This is Cheryl. I'm here at the church. I came over to work, and I called 911 because when I opened the front door to go inside, there was smoke. And when I had driven in, there was a lot of stuff coming off the ceiling, the roof, which I thought was just the rain evaporating. I don't know. But I called 911, and the fire trucks are coming. So I will let you know. Bye.
As I think back on this project, I am just filled with gratitude. That's the number one thing. I still wonder why we had to get struck by lightning in the first place. But, if you turn that one page, I am thankful for almost everything else that followed. The governors of our church were great to work with. They were supportive. They asked the right questions. They gave us enough rope. They made the decisions they had to make in a timely way. And they were undaunted in their devotion to the end goal, to get back into the building in a timely way. The design team, the team of volunteers who came together and met every Monday and worked a lot of additional hours for a long period of time. Another group that I'm incredibly thankful for. They too were really devoted, and I think in kind of an emotional way, in addition to just doing work, to making our end result a good one, to making our building flexible and sustainable for the future. Of this group, I would have to call out two people who were part of the team, but who are our two pastors, Lori and Dakota. We kept trying to convince them they needed to just do their normal job and let us worry about the fire. But I think they could see that they really had to do two jobs at once, and they did so. They worked double time for a long, long time. I'm thankful for that, and also that they helped us remember that it wasn't just a mechanical process or a financial risk. It was a spiritual process to rebuild the church building. And that reminder really, helped us at a number of spots along the way. We like to tease them because they always want to start a meeting with a prayer. But I will tell you, these meetings were challenging. These decisions were sometimes difficult, and those prayers were very helpful. I think you can also make a lot of jokes about trying to get along with your general contractor. You see a lot of commercials on television about how mean the insurance company can be. But I have to tell you, first, our insurance company, the church board, the insurance adjuster assigned to us, you've probably heard the name Marvin, just a great guy, and who was calm and helpful. He provided a lot of education. He was on the phone with me often, every single week. And, I think he really helped us understand what our policy could cover. We had some minor disagreements about things we wish our policy would cover. But at the end of the day, we collected enough money from the insurance company overall that we are ahead. We do not have a deficit. We have the opposite. We have money to spare when you kind of balance everything out, and that's fantastic. And, you've probably also heard the name Austin, an incredible young man who was our primary point of contact on the general contractor side, so calm and so knowledgeable about how to get things done and to do it in an efficient way. We made the project more complicated because we added in our remodeling and improvements. And even with that, he was able to get the work done. And at the end of the day, the work is all great. And I think that Austin served as the key human being in terms of pulling all those pieces together to try to get the work done successfully. I also have to thank the members of the congregation. I can think of at least 3 or 4 things. The most obvious one is the money that came pouring in when we made the suggestion that we should do some improvements, along with the restoration work. People were incredibly generous, and we couldn't have done it without the financial support. Number 2, the fact that everybody stayed together as a congregation and kept the church going, even though the church building was temporarily unavailable. I'll tell you, my only big worry way back when, once we got our feet under us, it was not about the ability to rebuild the building. It was about whether we would still have a congregation left by the time we did so. And we obviously had that. We obviously had people who stuck together and made the work of the church continue while we got the building rebuilt. Another one is the willingness of the congregation to kind of delegate things to the team and let us keep making decisions month by month. I think if we had been required to make every single decision up front for approval and then go out and get bids and then go to select a contractor and get the work done, I bet we wouldn't be in there still today. And fourth, I'm thankful for the forgiveness that you all have shown for any imperfectness of the final result. And even as I think about my own personal involvement, again, I'm still thankful. I feel like, as a recent retiree, well, first of all, my wife was delighted to have me out of the house and busy doing something. But I'm actually thankful that I had an opportunity to contribute. It was a neat opportunity to learn new things, even at my age, and at the end of it all, I'm extremely thankful that it worked out well enough so that all of you would not have to kick me out.
Okay, wow, that was so great. So now's the time that we are going to honor our remodel team, and I hope I can make it through this because that was pretty emotional. So I'm going to start with a big one. John Kraler, our remodel team leader, otherwise known as our crisis management expert, our acronym creator, our brilliant bulleted communicator, and so much more. Or if you want an acronym, we could just go with ASMM for and so much more. We cannot overstate our gratitude for John. At a moment when our church needed steady leadership, John stepped forward. Literally the very day of the fire, John was there taking crisis management notes. This was directly after his retirement from a real paying job. John decided to guide us, to volunteer to give us the gifts of his time and his expertise. John was the main contact for all insurance conversations, the security system, the organ and piano restoration. John secured our first temporary meeting space at 502 East Event Center and subsequently Clay Middle School. John turned crisis into opportunity as he coined the acronym that gave us hope, OCA, or One Christmas Away. John was an ad hoc member of the Governance Council for the entire fire season, showing up to report to us at each meeting, and then showing up to report to you, the congregation, at monthly congregational conversations. When I asked Pastor Lori to tell me just a little bit about individuals on the remodel team, she said about John, "There are not enough words to describe how he took on this project with faithfulness, grace, and a keen eye." John, during one of the most intense and emotional times in our church's history, your steady leadership was a ministry of love and unshakable commitment, and we are profoundly grateful. You come up. And now I'm actually going to call Craig Pankwhite up because he is going to speak, and I kind of skipped him and all the emotion after the video.
I met with Lori this week to talk about what I was going to talk about, and she asked when I wanted to go, and I mentioned I'll just go after the video. And I now seeing it, I kind of wish I maybe would have gone first. So bear with me. Good morning, everyone. I think most of you know me, but for those who don't, or for those who, like me, sometimes know faces better than names or vice versa, I'm Craig Pankwhite. I've been part of St. Peter's for more than 15 years, and I'm an architect. I still remember that first Sunday after the fire, a small group of us gathered out in the native habitat. Pastor Lori invited everyone to share what they were feeling. There was grief, deep grief, but there was also a quiet sense that within that loss, there might be an opportunity. Now, I know the church is more than a building, especially for a congregation as vibrant and active as St. Peter's. But as an architect, I've always believed that our physical spaces shape our experiences. The building holds our spirit. So when the chance came to help with the restoration, I knew right away this wasn't just another project, it was personal. As the process moved forward, it became clear that we needed a lead architect to guide the professional side. There can be challenges when a member of the congregation steps into that role. But I also knew few people understood this building or loved it quite the way I did. And honestly, I couldn't imagine anyone else doing it. Having another architect take the lead would have felt like having someone else remodel my own home. St. Peter's has always been like a second home. Blending my professional life with something so deeply personal felt natural and necessary. In my career, I've learned that good design isn't just about drawings or materials. It's about relationships, trust, and purpose. But this was different. This wasn't just about restoring a structure, it was about restoring a spirit. Every design choice, every reclaimed material carried emotional weight. And through it all, our team stayed grounded in three core values: flexibility, accessibility, and sustainability. What I'm most proud of isn't just the building, though it's beautiful. I'm proud of what it represents: resilience, community, and faith in action. We turned loss into opportunity to renew, to strengthen, and to remind ourselves what it means to be the church, not just attend one. And from a practical side, I'm proud of how quickly and effectively we worked. It may have felt slow at times, so very slow, but truthfully, we achieved something very remarkable. What usually takes twice as long, we accomplished in a little over a year. Design in under 6 months, construction completed in 8 or 9. That's extraordinary. Of course, none of this would have been possible without your generosity. Because of your giving spirit, our team never had to compromise our vision. We were able to do it right and do it well. I've received so many kind words and thank yous from all of you about my work on this project, and I'm deeply grateful. But today I want to say thank you in return. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for allowing me to serve as your architect. And thank you for giving me the chance to help rebuild something so meaningful. This experience has been one of the greatest honors of my life, and I will carry it with me always. Thank you.
So as you just heard, Craig was our architect of record. Craig used his gifts not just professionally, but spiritually. Craig treated this project as a calling, designing his church with care. He helped us preserve what mattered most while also imagining what could be. The wooden ceiling right here in the sanctuary, the flooring choices, the square ceiling tiles, just to name a few. Craig figured out how to squeeze every inch out of our space, especially when it came to ADA bathrooms and the additions of the ramps in the sanctuary. Craig, everywhere we look now, we can see your influence. You envisioned our renewed space in ways that we could not imagine. Thank you for expressing who we are as a community of faith through your work. The next member of the remodel team is Lori Radford. Lori was the design and contents expert, as well as she happened to be the elected hospitality team leader at the time of the fire. I like to call her the coffee curator at Clay Middle School. Lori, to the remodel team, brought extraordinary attention to detail, a discerning eye for design, and the ability to organize and execute with clear communication. From selecting colors and carpet to choosing pew chairs and signage, Lori ensured that every part of this building reflects our spirit of hospitality. Even while overseeing hundreds of details down to the last fork in the kitchen, she continued to lead hospitality every Sunday, rolling our carted coffee and tea in and out of the middle school every week. Where is Lori? Lori, okay. Lori, with the gift of your organized eye, you created accessible, sustainable, and flexible spaces. We are deeply grateful for your hospitable spirit and your dedication. Next, we have Barb James. She was also a design and contents expert, but I like to call her the voice of steady wisdom. Barb brought wisdom and balance to the remodel team. Barb helped design our seating areas and altar furniture, connected us with vital resources like local furniture companies, and guided the team with thoughtful, measured decision-making when it came to budget and prioritization questions. Even while joining from multiple locations via Zoom, Barb was always a voice of reason. Barb, your thoughtfulness and calm guidance were invaluable throughout the fire season. Thank you for being the voice of steady wisdom and for helping to create spaces where people will pray, connect, and gather for years to come. We are deeply grateful for your leadership. Next, we have Rick Searcy, otherwise simply known as the tech guy. Rick made the impossible possible. Every microphone, every live stream connection, every screen, speaker, projector, monitor in Clay Middle School and here in the permanent building went through Rick and his team, and I'll quickly name that his team were Tori Biebenauer, John Kreider, Dakota, and Pastor Lori. Rick lived part of the fire years in California and was willing to Zoom into meetings regularly. Rick, your work not only makes our lives better here in the church building, but it extends our ministry into homes across the city and country. Thank you for your willingness to learn and your thorough approach. Greg McMullen is not here with us this morning, but I called him our visionary of welcome. Greg was also a professional architect. Greg had bold ideas that transformed how we experience community. It was Greg who first imagined expanding our narthex and entryways into the bright, open, welcoming spaces we now enjoy. His willingness to experiment and his standard for design were true gifts in the remodel process. And now our pastors. Pastor Dakota Faulkner, called the Shepherd of the Journey. Dakota was one of the first people on the scene the day of the fire. From that moment, he used his gifts of connection and attention to detail to pastor us through the experience. In the early days, thanks to Dakota, various teams were able to meet at Allisonville Christian Church. He then scouted temporary office spaces and became the mastermind behind the roadie ministry, which is what we called the transport setup and cleanup crew that you just witnessed in the video. He took over day-to-day operations of building and grounds since the elected leader, John Kraler, was quite busy. Dakota stepped in to manage responsibilities and kept everything moving forward, both literally and spiritually, carefully watching over timelines, budgets, and people. They're sitting behind me, so I have to turn around here. Dakota, your leadership kept our community connected and hopeful during one of our most uncertain times. We celebrate the ways you cared for each of us throughout this difficult season. Okay, and Pastor Lori, Shepherd of the Tide. When the fire struck, Lori was out of town hoping for some much-needed clergy renewal, but she turned around and came back the very same day, holding us all together from that moment forward. In the years that followed, Lori was the spiritual guide of the church and the remodel team. Lori collaborated with Barb and Lori Radford regarding contents decisions. Lori led the team through the improvements in the sanctuary and always made sure that flexibility, sustainability, and accessibility were the guiding principles. As president now, I was vice president when the fire struck, and I recently looked back at some communications from the very early days. Lori and I had traded quotes, and she wrote to me, "Don't spend so much time focusing on the waves, or you will miss the tide." That quote perfectly reflects Lori herself, always attentive to the bigger picture, calm in the midst of the chaos, and prioritizing this community above all. Lori, your steady faith and ability to focus on the importance of being in the church was a gift. We are extremely grateful for your dedication and leadership. So after much brainstorming on our parts, and with a little nudge from the voice of steady reason, or the voice of steady wisdom, Barb James, the Governance Council finally decided to just ask the remodel team what they would like as a gift or token of our appreciation. I think that we also required that the answer could not be nothing. So after meeting together for their last hurrah, they said that they would like a cornerstone to mark the remodel date after the fire. And you can see that now as you exit the sanctuary to your right. It's located just inside the north, or just outside Fellowship Hall in the north ex. And that they also requested a tree be planted in our native habitat. So through the work of Dory Keys, our building and grounds team leader, and Dakota, a tree has been planted, and we welcome you to visit it. It is just outside of door 2, which is the new accessibility entrance. Specifically, it is a ginkgo tree. Ginkgo trees are incredibly hardy. They survive harsh climates, disease, pollution, and even catastrophic events. They are also the only surviving species of its genus, making them unique or rare. As you can see, the ginkgo tree was the perfect request from the remodel team, as it symbolizes their leadership and dedication, standing strong through challenges and contributing their unique gifts to our community throughout the fire season. So please visit those 2 places on your way out, and also I believe there are finally sweet treats in Fellowship Hall, and I allow you to go there now. Thank you.